wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum, and welcome to the Iftar Drive right here on Salam Media. My name is Luqman King. Jazakallah khair for making time for us this afternoon. And we'll be in your company until iftar time in Johannesburg, which is around 6 p.m. Central African time. Of course, we'll be keeping you updated as to what time different parts of the country will be making iftar. And hopefully, inshallah, Aziz, keeping you spiritually uplifted as we continue with the program. And just to let you know what we'll be doing on the show this afternoon, inshallah, we'll be speaking to Abed Karim. We may have heard and may have seen, particularly for our viewers and our listeners in the Durban area, in the eThekwini area. Over the weekend, there was quite a lot of rain, amount of water that just descended on KZN, phenomenal. And, the kind of floods that resulted as a result of that, very devastating. We'll be looking at the humanitarian crisis that is currently going on in the eThekwini area. We'll be speaking to Abed Karim from the Al-Imdaad Foundation. Of course, he'll be telling us exactly what type of efforts are underway, relief efforts, and what the needs are on the ground. And of course, we continue with our Ramadan around the world. We speak to Navid Akhtar, founder and CEO of Al-Kima, that's based in the United Kingdom. He'll be talking to us about how Ramadan is celebrated in his hometown. Looking forward to that, inshallah. And of course, we continue with our Palestine Ramadan radio. Today, we speak to Haider Eid, and Haji Ponti Molitani telling me earlier today that what a treat we'll be speaking to Haider today. And of course, I'm sure he will continue with that, Palestine Ramadan radio this year. And of course, he is the associate professor of post-colonial and postmodern literature at Gaza's Al-Aqsa University. He's our guest for the Palestine Ramadan radio. That's coming up just after 5. Of course, we continued our spiritual hour with Maulana Yunus Kawanga, and we continue with the tafsir of the Quran that's been recited in the Taraweeh Salah. And we end off with Sabri Davids, Sheikh Sabri Davids, Imam at Masjid al-Thani in Rocklands, Mitchell's Plain, inshallah. He says a spiritual uplifting nasiha. That'll be coming up just before Maghrib in Johannesburg. All that and more to look forward to on the Iftar Drive on Salam Media. Stay tuned.
The refugee camps in Syria or orphanages in Yemen, the eyes of the needy speak volumes with just one glare. We know what it's like to be at ground zero, with food essentials, clothing and blankets, fresh water portal trucks, and even on-site navigators. We use every cent to better their tomorrow. Become part of our journey to bring relief to all. Go to www.ashrafulaid.org or call us on 011-809-8181. Ashraful Aid, under the auspices of Maulana Suhail Wadi.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Southern Africa Dawah Network is a non-profit organization striving to uplift the disadvantaged and empowering through education and dawah. Donate to the SADN centers, the M.A. Mutala Islamic Center, as well as our Islamic centers in Amoti, Imtalumi, Botshabelo and Castile. Donate your zakat and lillah today. Contact Farooq Sheikh 076-321-0650, Yusuf Mohammadi 072-259-3457, or the SADN head office 031-304-8000. Our account, Standard Bank, account number 050-856-294 for your zakat, or 050-879-790 for your lillah. Dawah through education, education through dawah, the Southern Africa Dawah Network.
For a long time, we've lived in a centralized world, where institutions held the all-important data and confirmed all transactions. Those times are over. Welcome to Libertas Group, a blockchain developing company boasting an ecosystem that continually redefines the way we do business. Our blockchain is decentralized, making it immune to hacking or alteration, putting the power back in your hands with no middleman so you can focus on the growth of your business. Libertas, the simplest investment choice you'll make.
Imagine the joy that a meal brings to the fasting family in need. This Ramadan, join Africa Muslims Agency to provide meals to the fasting for 100 Rand a day, a food hamper for 1,500 Rand, or feed a village for 15,000 Rand per day. If we can imagine a better world, we can create it. Donate today. Call AMA on 011-834-8685 or donate online. Africa Muslims Agency, commemorating 35 years of empowering, educating, inspiring.
At Sentio, our Invest for Good philosophy is based on a real desire to use our investment skills for the benefit of broader society. We are committed to supporting our community by investing responsibly, giving charitably, and developing talent that will transform the investment industry. As an ethically based asset manager, we are focused on delivering superior risk-adjusted returns for our clients, regardless of market conditions. Visit us at www.sentio-capital.com for more information on our Sharia investment products and start saving with us today. Sentio Capital Management. Invest for good. Sentio Capital Management is an authorized financial services provider.
There can be no greater reward than helping spread the beauty of Islam. This Ramadan, please consider the Islamic Dawah movement for zakat, lillah, sadaqah, fitra, kafara, and fidya. In 42 years, IDM has built over 80 masjids and distributed more than 125,000 Qur'ans in 7 local languages. IDM has built 36 Islamic centers and installed over 240 boreholes. IDM feeds 1,200 children daily, building strong Muslim communities in disadvantaged areas. Donate now and earn Sadaqah Jariyah. Call IDM on 031 304 6883 or visit idmsa.org. IDM, helping to create an Iqra community.
Salam Media, your spiritual companion this Ramadan.
Welcome back, and this is a story that we've all woke up to this morning, and that's just not here in Johannesburg. The entire country is waking up to the story of residents in KwaZulu-Natal have been hit by devastating floods following the heavy rains this weekend. Now, 20 people have died. This is the number we know. It could be more, and scores more are still missing. And in Durban, a masjid in Morningside collapsed. The SANDF have been dispatched to the affected areas to spearhead search and rescue operations and, of course, relief operations. Now, the massive damage to infrastructure has seen several roads closed. Eskom CEO Andre Doreta warning that power supply will be affected in the coming days. At least 500 MTN towers have been out, or at least been affected. If you're trying to contact people in Durban, maybe you may have noticed that things, it's not that easy to get through. And let's just take a look at some of the more astonishing videos that were recorded and shared on social media to have a sense of the level of the damage. Let's take a look.
Assalamu alaikum. Guys, the masjid collapsed here in Morningside. I'm sending you the location now. We need a TLB or a Bobcat urgently. The masjid has collapsed. The muezzin may be stuck underneath. He's not answering his call. Please, TLB or a Bobcat or some jackhammer. Urgent need, please, brothers. Shukran, salam.
Okay, that was the Morningside masjid that we spoke about earlier. Of course, devastating. I'm not sure whether the muezzin had been rescued or what's the situation there, but that was posted earlier this morning. And joining me now to give us a sense of what's happening on the ground, and it's not just the Durban area, also in the Ladysmith. What happened? Lower parts of the Ladysmith CBD have been flooded yet again, following the weekend rains, and motorists have been asked to avoid the area, including Lyle Street, and all traffic diverted through Murchiston Street. Now, that's just in Ladysmith. And we've heard quite a lot about the roads in Durban's eThekwini areas, that, parts of eThekwini that have been basically nobody's got access to because of the flooding and so on. But joining me now to give us more information about the conditions on the ground is Abed Karim. He's from the Al-Imdaad Foundation. Abed, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to you and the listeners, and Ramadan Kareem to all the listeners.
Jazakallah khair, Abed, for joining us. Abed, the Al-Imdaad Foundation, was busy not too long ago with the previous floods, and if you could compare the devastation of the floods that we saw this weekend and today with the previous occasion, what would you say? Is it just as bad, or if not worse?
Well, coming back to the situation in KwaZulu-Natal, the entire province, every district that has been affected by these floods and the torrential rains. But coming back to the Ladysmith scenario, yes, we are totally flooded out in the CBD. It's exactly the duplicate of what happened 2 months back in January, and we're still up with the recovery, and here we hit again, and the entire CBD is closed. 15 to 20 people have been evacuated last night with the Al-Imdaad Foundation assisted in terms of blankets, mattresses, with disaster management. And as I talk to you in Ladysmith, the water has subsided yet. It is still the same. That's the volume of water that is still, that's been backed up in the dams and being released, at the surface. So Ladysmith situation is the same. Water, the entire city is waterlogged. There's no shops open. There is no, activities happening. And in terms of households, there's about 20 to 25 people that live affected, and it could be even more today. Coming to the situation of Durban, like you rightfully said, in floods, we need to understand something as the listeners and educate ourselves. The first thing first, in floods, you have search and rescue, like what is happening right now. Like the rightly said, the SADAF is also on the ground. The Defense Force is being called in by the Provincial Disaster Management. We sat in the JOC meeting this morning at Al-Imdaad. We are part of the JOC of the province, and we have all integrated search and rescue and everything. And that's what's happening right now in Durban. It's search, rescue, and recover. And they are, after that happens, and the water supply and the roads are cleared and the debris is all cleared, then we go do what you call assessment to understand the devastation and what is the need of the households. Right now, people have been put into 10 to 15 different halls. As I talk to you now, the Al-Imdaad Foundation teams are outside Durban at a township known as Amaltu, and there are 200 people in that hall, and we are assisting with blankets, mattresses, and etc. what is needed there, and profiling. Like that, other NGOs in Durban have all got together and we coordinating and hopefully, not to have duplication, inshallah, and assist everyone that is in need. And the devastation is so vast in Durban that, you sometimes think, where do you start? But alhamdulillah, coordinating and the implementation of assistance is being coordinated right now in Durban. And what also is important to mention here, there were a lot of requests that came from the Spingo, beach area, and Spingo right now is locked in with water. They are going with boats and rescuing people. The Al-Imdaad Foundation was calling and said, there are many of the patients and the people who need chronic medications and need all the things. So the Al-Imdaad Foundation, with the generous donation of donors, had got into a helicopter, and our teams have gone into Spingo with the helicopters and to go and assist them with medical, assistance in terms of medicines, chronic medicines, and all those things. And alhamdulillah, they've gone out there now and they're busy distributing that with the community and all the disaster management officials.
Now, Abed, you talked about the JOC that you were, participating in this morning, and the provincial JOC. What plans are they to declare the aftermath of these floods an official disaster in terms of the provincial announcement or announcement from the provincial government?
You see, in terms of having a proclamation of a disaster, there are many things that you need to take into consideration. Proper profiling after all search, rescue, and helping people to become into a normal situation. Then comes all the different departments who will then check as to what is the extent of the damage and what's the cost of it. And then all those what we call damages are put together into a report. And then this report is sent to national and for the declaration. So it is too early now to even as to when will the declaration, because it is definitely a declaration has to be done, because you will be needing funding from national government to assist all these families and the road works and the damage to infrastructure, etc., etc. So with regards to that, that is the second part of disaster management, where the different municipalities will compile reports and say, look, this is the cost and this is what has happened. We need to be declared because we don't have enough budget in our funding. But with regards to the NGOs and Al-Imdaad Foundation, it is about the people now, the people who need the help now, the people in distress, out of their homes. And that is where we, Al-Imdaad Foundation, with of course all the other NGOs, non-profit individuals, organizations, different faith groups, all have come together in KwaZulu-Natal, and not only from KwaZulu-Natal, I've been told even from out of KwaZulu-Natal, Johannesburg, Polokwane, all over. And the foot of the Eastern community, alhamdulillah, is there, and everybody's putting their hands together from all faith groups, like they did in Ladysmith, and they are helping out in Durban. And like I always said, it's not a short term. This is not a short-term assistance. You're looking about 1 or 2 months to assist people to get back on their feet. We just tried to complete Ladysmith, and here we go again, and the entire town is flooded again.
If you've joined us, we're talking to Abed Karim from the Al-Imdaad Foundation. He's giving us an assessment of the initial damage, the need of the people on the ground, what efforts have been so far being done to assist people, and of course, inshallah, he's giving us the kind of conditions. Abed, these storms have come in the smack bang in the middle of Ramadan, and I know quite a number of people in the Durban area, in the Ladysmith area, also affected Muslim people fasting. I know there was some effort to ensure that people are still, they are still able to fast, and they're still able to make iftar and still be able to make suhoor. Could you tell us what sort of particular efforts have been put out there for Muslims that have been affected by the flooding during this time of Ramadan?
Alhamdulillah, in the scenario, we had 2 brothers that from Africa, and their, intizam and their, what you call, arrangements of maybe iftar and suhoor. And in regards to that, alhamdulillah, the organizations have made proper arrangements for, sahri and also for iftar, I've been told. And that is all being covered by all the NGOs, and they are in NMJ, they are in different halls. Alhamdulillah. That's one thing about the Muslim community. They are taking care of all these needs of those who are fasting in Ramadan. Alhamdulillah.
Abed, we were showing pictures while we're talking to you of the various areas that are flooded. It looks like most of the roads are covered in water. How has this affected your teams in getting to people that are that need help? Are you able to navigate the waters, or are you using boats like you did at the beginning of the year in Ladysmith?
Well, it is very difficult because you have to use alternate routes. And if I give you a Ladysmith scenario, we when it comes to floods, we think we are in a big city with big hour traffic, which we normally don't see, because the entire CBD is all covered with water. You cannot reuse all those streets. You've got to use one specific road and just go that way, and the traffic. Coming to the Durban scenario, our teams were going to Velam this afternoon, and they couldn't go through there to turn around and back through Westville and go to a different route. And that is the thing. You cannot navigate the road because they believe there's trees, there's rocks, there's sand, there's all these things, and the different graders are clearing up the road and so forth. So it's very difficult in this type of situation, in the middle of the city, in the middle of a town, that you have this kind of thing where you have to use alternate, routes and go through the places of intervention where you need to help.
Abed, the people that are listening to this broadcast that want to lend a hand and want to give assistance, how can they, participate in the relief efforts? The people that are listening to this broadcast and in Joburg or in other parts of the country and want to help, how can they help?
Our request to all the listeners, that's first thing is Mubarak month of Ramadan, let's pick our hand up and make dua for the Ummah. And Allah protect all of us here in South Africa and all over the world. Secondly, to all those who have been affected with the floods, we ask you also to pray for them. Yeah, certainly, it's important that you also dip your hands into your pocket and contribute. Contribute towards it at www.alimdaad.com and give towards these types of interventions. And in these types of interventions, you don't only have Muslim, you have non-Muslim. It'd be preferable, we say to the Muslim community, give your lillah contributions, because you could be the Muslim who's affected here and your neighbor could be a non-Muslim. So it is very important that we look at how we can help here in South Africa in the situation that we have, and more specifically in the Durban area, Ladysmith, and so forth. So we humbly ask the Ummah at large, let's start making dua, let's keep the Ummah in our dua in this Mubarak month, and secondly, contribute towards blankets, mattresses, hygiene packs, all the other type of food, and so forth for these flood victims. And usually, myself coming from Ladysmith, it is not easy when your life gets upside down in a second, and you have to go back to normal again. And then you're going to come back in your home and clean all the mess with sewer water, with everything that's messed up in your home. It is not an easy thing to stand back on your feet with. Allah make it easy and protect all of us, inshallah.
Ameen. Jazakallah khair. That was Abed Karim from the Al-Imdaad Foundation talking to us there about the situation on the ground. And of course, if you would like to participate, if you would like to assist, then you can go onto the website www.alimdaad.com. And of course, inshallah, everything you need to know will be on the website in terms of the instructions for, assisting, if you want to assist. Of course, Abed Karim, they're making a plea to the Ummah that we should make dua for our brothers and sisters wherever they are in the world, particularly those in the Durban area, in the KZN area, who have been affected by these floods. Let's take another look at the level of devastation that has currently been, impacting the KZN area.
So we had 56. The graders wouldn't stop moving the sand, and now we are completely flooded. The entire house is now flooding. The graders should have just left it.
Subhanallah. All that water. Absolutely devastating. May Allah Ta'ala make it easy for all the people that have been impacted by those floods. Now, before we go to the break, very important announcement. Sentio is an ethically based asset manager that is focused on delivering superior risk-adjusted returns for their clients, regardless of market conditions. For more information on the Sharia-compliant investment products, visit their website, www.sentio-capital.com, and start saving towards your investment goals today. Sentio Capital Management. Invest for good. Sentio Capital Management is an authorized financial services provider.